do my thing, man.
DiBiase, put money on your head like DiBiase.
Got a Jewish lawyer on retainer, so any sudden move, I'ma bang you. Headed out of town and I got it with me. It's cop and go, baby, gotta do this quickly. See me in the bar celebrating, my whole team around delegating. Running round base like I'm Major League. I got a great pitch with enormous speed. Setting up shop in the city. 100 grand on the table looking pretty. Money counter sounding like a phone call. A bad boy puffing loud, call me Diddy.
Paper rap got the Briz bacon neck. I need it up front, no disrespect. $1 million man, Ted DiBiase. Look around there, one of y'all try to stop me. Chop it up, wet work. Money's coming to the network. Gotta watch me. Put money on your head like DiBiase.
I do my thing, man.
DiBiase.
I do my thing, man.
DiBiase.
I do my thing, man.
DiBiase. Put money on your head like DiBiase.
I do my thing, man.
DiBiase.
I do my thing, man.
DiBiase.
Wake it up! I said, wake your ass up! It's not all about this ain't what they fucking morning!
Top of the morning, mother, get you out of bed by calling up a ruckus. I know you hate to love us, get your ass up out the covers. It's time to rise and grind, get your money on time so you can rise and shine.
Wake your ass up! Wake it up! It's showtime, baby. It's showtime. Show.
Nice and smooth by a stretch. Good morning, yes. How about the shower in the mirror check? Chicken my fresh and I keep it 103.5. Get it correct on your dial, that's the FM. So tune into us, let's trend. Beat the topic, only morning show that's on and through. Clean out your eyes and sip your coffee, let your morning flow. How about you ride like you arrived, but it's time to go. Top of the hour like the ad-lib, my state is stone.
Yeah! Oh. I'll be ready up.
Put the coffee in the cup and wake your ass up. This beat hit so hard, thought it was a Mack truck. Grab a bag up, that diesel and gas up. For this ride, we bout to drive till 9 can't pass us. Cause we're leading the caravan, serenading your travel plan. Herding the cattle, man, as we give you a battle plan. For all the wealth to grab up. But first, you need to wake your ass up.
My city, I wear me. Medallion black is Kieran. I'm coming to lift the spirits like toast in the drink. I'm a breath of that fresh air while you yawning, chasing that paper when you on it. Speaking of mine, and that's designed to make you think. Hold up, just sit it down for a second. Tune in to think. Hey, we put it down with the bars and don't need a drink to drink. That'd be me, whether gargle or the breath stink. Stink from running late, so I'm rushing like doing things. Could you get it? Easy.
Like a fresh cup of coffee in the morning. We gonna get you a new day. I want to work to play. It's job out your morning.
Cause see it's growing, I got it, call it the buzz. These dudes with China, they weak and needing a plug. These chicks is lonely, they weak and seeking a hug, and we got them fresh up early mornings on and waking them up. Let's get it.
Put your sorry behind them. From your time.
True. I'm here for the early bird. Give them the worm. Can't say a dirty word. My town to yours. Rooftop to the curb. The topic's superb. Politics. Give us that acknowledgement. Elephant in the room. You couldn't move it. We the monolith. Wipe that cold up out of your eye and hit up that Wi-Fi. And keep the other sun. Hey, they come catch another one. Compliment your coffee and your honey bun. Tune in with the tune in or the FM on your morning run. 6 in the morning. Fighting for bathroom time with the Jordans. I got my laptop popping. They keep it ugly for all of every demographic on perimeter. We who you listen to is independent radio for independent listeners.
After on the track, hold it, juggle my vocals. You were waiting for lyrics. This is how we do it, baby. But I can give you some answer. Quantum on the beat, baby. Young Race.
Oh. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Keeping it ugly. Let's get this thing popping. Trevor will be with us shortly. What's my dude? What up, Harry?
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
What's up? What's up?
Fellas will be with us shortly. Maybe including this guy here. I don't know. I'm working diligently to get him to just pick up the damn phone.
Oh, I didn't know it was catchy.
It is. It's contagious.
I know. Where is everybody?
This thing is like COVID.
Is Kotick putting together a union meeting?
He probably is. He's gonna mess around, and I'm gonna give his number up.
You have reached the voicemail.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's like, "Yo, I'm changing Pampers." Oh my goodness! All right, let's get into this thing here. Starting off with those numbers. The numbers are slowing down, but it's still bad. I mean, it is still bad. We're looking at
well, it's always gonna go, it's gonna go up because the more people you test, the more people you're gonna find that caught it.
Right, but as far as it goes, as far as
the real number that we got to concern about is the death rate, whether that rate is coming down.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I said, slowing down. That's the number that I'm looking at that's slowing down. As far as it goes with what's the number of actual cases, which is 1,571,000, 20,000 more added on yesterday, almost 20,000 more. Yeah, you're right. Those numbers are, and I'm also wondering if they're double counting anyone. If someone has been tested 2 or 3 times. I don't know. I don't even know if they're doing that.
Well, that is an interesting question because you do have people who test negative one day, positive the next day, and then negative the other day.
Right. What they call a false negative.
Positive.
Well, no, they test negative first.
Yeah.
So they say, okay, they're good, and then they test positive after. That was a false negative in the first one. Man, but well, these things this is really, like you said, the death rate is really something. And when we're looking at it's slowing down, it's 93,558 is the latest count that I'm looking at on World Media, and that's it's really interesting. The numbers are, well, I don't care what nobody says. It's death is death. You know what I'm saying? People are no longer with us.
I mean, definitely, but I think in Washington State yesterday, you had one epidemiologist come out and say that they need to adjust the death rate because I know he was talking about a patient who fell in his home and died of the head injury that he fell, but he was listed as a COVID-19 because he had COVID. So he's saying we need to adjust this in order to get real numbers, the true death rate.
Yeah, see, here's the thing that I think that you're missing in this whole thing that I'm trying to wrap my head around. I'm trying to get you. By the way, where is your video, man? I want to talk to the damn image.
Oh, I'm not up.
Psychotic nonsense. What's that?
I didn't know I wasn't up.
Yeah.
Got so many monitors, bro.
Yes, too many.
That's the thing that I'm doing so many different things at the same time. I'm trying to share the show. I'm trying to do this, so I didn't know I wasn't up.
Yeah.
One thing that I'd like to add on with the numbers, I have this headline that's pretty important. That can kind of
hold on before we get into it. First of all, Christ, I lost my train of thought there. What was that? What were you saying there, Harry?
I was talking about the true death rate, and you said you were trying to get me to understand something.
I know, I lost my train of thought. So go ahead, Caleb.
So
your picture just threw me the hell off. So go ahead.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Your image. Of course. What's wrong with you? What do you think? I'm taking blame for that? I forgot. That's not my fault.
So this headline, this national headline, Florida fires a scientist for her refusal to manipulate state's coronavirus data. A scientist who created Florida's COVID-19 dashboard, which the dashboard recorded in real time of the cases that kept building up or the death rates, right? And tracked people. She says she has been dismissed after she refused to make changes to that. Oh my God, let me say that sentence again. I'm sorry. She says she has been dismissed after she refused to make changes to data supporting the state's plan to reopen.
Yeah, I read the article. Her thing was there's a lot of people who are listing their symptoms and everything, so they wanted her to take away. They didn't want, what she's claiming is that they wanted her to take away those statistics that's showing that people are still being infected because they want to look good in their reopening. You know,
right?
And so you know what I started to say was the part about this that I think that we're hung up on here, Harry, when we talk about the actual cause. And I hear what you're saying when you said like the whatever that was, whatever the person's title was out there in Washington, who said that the patient fell, hit their head, and they had to write it down as COVID. And okay, I hear what they're saying. I guess because here's why I don't have a problem with this. Because we don't know the depths, the depths that this thing does. This is such a vicious infection. Because we don't know the depths of it, you can't dismiss it. Once it's found in somebody's system, you should record it as
Joe, that's insane.
As a COVID. No, you should tag on a COVID because you don't know if that person would have survived the fall if they did not have it.
If
now we could adjust it.
Nuts, every day would be Christmas. You can't do that. You
Every
can't
day
say
will be
if,
Christmas.
well,
No.
maybe this could have happened. So let's just add it to the COVID death. That's insane. You don't get a true number.
Well, you never get a true number at the end of the day when you're talking about these things. You just don't.
But you have to try to be as accurate.
Yeah, but you're trying your best to be as accurate, and that's one of the reasons why you just don't want to dismiss it as not being part of the issue. You know, that is one of the reasons why.
I think we're never gonna agree on this because you're okay with fake data.
I'm really well. I don't know if I'm ready to call it fake data.
Probable data.
Okay, probable. I want to call it that. And it's not so much that I'm okay with it. It's just that because there's so many dark corners with this damn
Yeah,
virus.
but you gotta remember, a lot of these people are quarantined at home because they tested positive for COVID, but they have no symptoms. So they're required to quarantine in their homes until the COVID comes out of their system, and they're not in danger of dying because a lot of people, you know, that 80% of the people won't even know they have it unless they get tested. You know, 90% of the population will get it, and some of them will have flu symptoms, but will never be in danger. It's the 10% of the population that's in danger. You know, so you have this guy at his house, with not being in danger from COVID. He has it, but not in danger, and then he dies from a head injury. Come on,
but all right, maybe chalking it up as he died from it could be a little stretch. I get your argument, Harry. I'm not going against it, but it have to be recorded that this guy had this.
Oh my
issue.
God!
Why shouldn't it be? What about all the people that he was in contact with?
Kadik beat everybody else in.
I know, and that's
don't sound surprised.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happened. We're gonna get back to my topic, the topic at hand. And man, you're just going straight. Justin Farmer was on yesterday. He explained to me this whole thing with Tourette's. You just had a Tourette's moment.
Yeah,
You just
well,
or was it
I've been
ADD?
accused of having Tourette, because of some of the stuff I blurt out. I've also been accused, I don't know if this is good at this early, time in the morning, but I've also been told I have diarrhea of the mouth. So
Wow.
it just drips out. Everything just drips out, just falls out.
Stop.
And just imagine, I wasn't the one who told him that.
I know. No. No, these
back to this
good lifelong friends.
Which I'm not. Anyway, going back to this situation of people at their homes. So yesterday I was watching NBC reporter who lives in China, but was on assignment in Europe recently. And man, what she had to go through when she got back to China is, oh man, it's equivalent to house arrest. I mean, she had to stand aside. First of all, she's from Europe. She's a Chinese. She's Chinese nationalist. She is of Asian descent. And she had to stand aside, wait 8 hours. They tested her right there in the airport. She came back negative, but then they make her take a kit to test herself in 2 weeks. They give her a kit to take home. They also give her a bracelet, which is like, not an ankle. It's not even on an ankle. It's on her right wrist. They give her a bracelet with a monitor on it. And she had to walk around in her home, which would measure the circumference of the home. So they would know that when she steps outside of her home.
Yeah, it's called
she
GPS.
She had to quarantine her damn home, quarantine herself in her home. She had to wear this monitor for at least I think it's a 14. And it just blew my mind. I'm like, man, they had to give up a lot of their rights over there. And that's not what the hell I want to get to.
Joe,
so the state of Connecticut.
So they don't have rights.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I can't even argue with you over there.
Nah, they have left. That's what I heard.
Yep.
That's right. A negative times a negative is not a positive over there.
I mean, it's like, well, you want to have rights. No. Anyway, I mean, what she had to go through over there, I just saw that. I'm like, and she was talking like, it was like normal. Well, this is the way of life. This is what we do. And I'm like, oh, man, go ahead. And I would hate to be a sheep like that, man. But it's where we're heading to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where we're heading to when we find ourselves giving up all our liberties,
Of course, and the liberals love it. They want to take away your freedom. They want an excuse to be in your home. They want an excuse to be in your pocket. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're in a roll. Don't let me stop you.
You know what upsets me most about the China coverage? What upsets me most is their lack of coverage of what they're doing to people of color over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, come on, man.
It's insane how they just ignore it on the world stage.
On the world stage, it is totally ignored.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, Harry, because I find it hard to feel anybody else's pain now, man. I'm tired, man.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't feel their pain. Let me be very clear.
Struggle, I'm not even feeling it. Like, I'm tired. I'm done.
I am not running around feeling no one struggled. Let me be very clear about that. And I'm part Chinese. So let's be very clear about this. I'm not running around feeling anybody struggle. I'm not running around feeling sorry for anyone. I'm just saying what I would hate to give up as far as it goes with if I had to give up my have to go measure myself and give up all my data. I mean, dang, that's where I'm at with that whole story. And anyone who thought I'm feeling sorry for someone, oh no.
You know, and they have over 1 million Muslims in reprogramming camps to reprogram the Muslim out of them in China.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
No, this is real.
This is for real.
They torture them. It's like torture.
They don't care. The world stage does not care what they're doing over there. As a matter of fact, you have the New York Times writing, we should be more like China. It's insane.
No. I'm not going with that guy.
Wait, what?
There
you go.
See how he just sticks.
Yeah, he just did that. Like, why you gotta be like that?
What? The New York Times.
Like that guy. You're like that guy that farts in the dinner table and then just act like everyone gotta smell it. Like, stop.
Oh no, I raised my hand. I raised my hand.
God, just stop.
As a matter of fact, I warn everybody. Shots fired.
The U.S. doesn't need tips on how to treat Black people. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they don't gotta be like nobody. Like, are you kidding me? Like, come on, man. I'm done. I'm tired.
Tadic, we already agreed with you on that whole situation.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Are you sleeping on the show or something?
Am I? Am I sleeping on the show? You said what?
Are you sleeping on the show? We agree with you on that.
No, I'm on a different point now. I'm just still tired. Like, I'm talking about the New York Times. I'm just tired. What are you talking about? Nah, man. Because what happened was I just collected all my information and I was like, wait a minute. Are you serious? Like, come on, man. Like, I'm tired. I'm done. I'm not feeling nobody else struggle unless you. Nah, I'm just not. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm just not.
No, well, here's
it's been going on forever. Like it's been going on for so long, man. Like, come on, man. Like, no, tired.
Well, here's the situation, and this is where I concur with the image one over there in the corner. I'm talking about Toddy. The reason why I agree with him
whatever
is because, man, shut up, man. Jesus, can I talk? No, I can't.
I said, call me whatever.
Go ahead, man. No, the reason why I agree with him is because I look at my community and I see people coming into my community, different groups, and hitting us hard with commerce. They do massive infiltration on commerce, and they suck the living life out of my community. If we're having an event that's community-based and try to go to one of these shops and say, would you donate for this event for the same community that you sucking the life out of? The answer is no. Chances are you probably get out of the store situation, like you bumming from them.
Yeah, a straight no. You get a no explanation no.
Yeah. You know, they don't care about the same community that they're siphoning off of, and they don't play around about that. They're just blatantly nasty.
Nope.
They're just blatantly nasty about it, and will not put back into that community that they're in. And I've seen it, these different groups that come in, and they hit the minority community, and they hit it hard. They siphon the life out of it. They treat people, and that's just the economic side of it. The actual physical treatment, oh my God, it goes next level. They treat people like garbage. Like garbage. And that's just right here in my community. So when I hear these situations about someone being treated bad in their area of these areas, I'm just like, I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't. I'm being no less than how they are to me in my community. I'm being no less. And when I see how they're being treated, it's like, okay, you got to catch your work now.
Exactly.
I'm not coming with the we are the world kind of nonsense. That's done. That's over. That's been over with me. I'm with Kodak on this. I'm tired. I'm not going to support any community that just blatantly cipher out of my community. And they will see, like they'll have stuff with police brutality in their stores. Some of the times they perpetuate it. They'll call the cops on someone, and then they'll start. I've seen. We have all seen the videos online where a female is being kicked like a dog. I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, come on. So at some point, we just realize, okay, you come in. And sisters, you know, you in your weave shops, you run up in there, guy in your hair, you're buying this and that, the other. And look, I don't want to soapbox this. I really don't. I don't want to Bill Cosby this at all. I'm not going to tell my people, see, that's the problem with us. As soon as we get a platform, we gonna need to try to tell our people what to do. I ain't going to tell you what to do. You know what you got to do.
Right.
I'm not Bill Cosby in this one at all. You know what you got to do.
No doubt.
You just censored yourself, huh?
Yep, just censored the crap out of myself. I am not going to Bill Cosby this in the slightest.
But
you know what you got to do.
My thing is, why do you think, like, publications like the New York Times, Washington Post, and stuff, why they magnify everything and call everything a dog whistle and everything here in America, but they cover up for people like the Chinese? Why do you think that's happening?
Because they all have interest over there. And you want to be straight up? Yes, they all have interest. Every last one of them. And they know if they start highlighting certain things, they'll be on the outs. What's going on right now in China with the blacks in particular, they have a law now that they can kick you out of your home.
Be careful, Joe.
They have a law that they can kick you out of your home.
Be careful, Joe. We're sitting on a server in China.
That's true. But I'm going to say it anyway. So if we go to black tomorrow, you know why. It's like they have a law over there that says we could kick you out of your home. Imagine that. They could kick you out of your home. If you go to a hotel, they could kick you out. But most importantly on this, they use this Tulsa, Oklahoma mentality. You can't be on the streets. It is the Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wall Street, Black Wall Street situation, where they bombed the hell out of this black community and then came up with a law that says you can't rebuild on burnt land. So how in the hell can the economic, how can we come back? You can't rebuild on burnt land. That was the killer in that whole Black Wall Street situation. Wasn't that people didn't want to go back and rebuild? But then they came up with a law to stop you from doing it. So now they're gonna kick you out on the street and then have a law to tell you, you can't be on the street. What kind of garbage is that? And I'm supposed to have a dog in the fight because you're getting ill treated? Well, I'm not treating it well, then speak up against those who are.
Exactly.
No, and plus, it's just too deep. I don't even want to go into it, but that's
listen, man, we got a platform, so this is what we do.
Yeah, no.
Whether we you explained it well. We have that platform.
You explained well.
I want to hear your explanation.
The thing is that they have no shame about it over there. If you see the videos, they're kicking out people and they're just telling them because you're black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so
they are nasty people too, man. I'm telling you, people don't get it.
It's crazy. It's crazy, and it should be on freaking,
it should be.
It should be all over the news, and it should be part of the reason we punish China.
Right.
Right.
Correct. But that, the blonded one over there, the blonde in a bottle, I'm talking about old Tangerine Boy. He's not going to do anything. You know, even if. Well, don't expect Mitch McConnell to have it. Okay.
The media is who holds you accountable.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the media is supposed to put pressure on people like Trump and say, look what's happening over there.
Look, not if they agree with it. Like, nah, man, this is nasty, man. Nasty situation. They agree.
Yeah.
If you don't got to get in trouble for it and somebody's doing something that you like, you're not going to say nothing. Like, hey, I'm with that. If I like slapping birds and Joe's a bird slapper, I'm going to be like, hey.
Oh, man, this guy's so...
I'm tired of the game. I'm tired of the game.
No, but you're absolutely right. It's a real sad situation where you find yourself. This is getting on my goddamn nerves right now.
Telling you,
but
it's like the kid in class that get picked on, man. I'm telling you. But the problem is nobody wants to face it or say anything. We still want to be
about it. Look at Trevor, for example.
Super sympathetic people. Like, we want to be super sympathetic. Like, come on, man. At some point, man. Come on, man.
Hold on one second. I mean, no. I mean, look at, when you look at Trevor, he don't want us talking about this. He's like,
no, Trevor don't care. And you know why I like Trevor? Because he lets out the things that I know already. Like, he says it because he doesn't care. Like, yo, we was talking about something that was like, I forgot what it was, but I know it was race related. And it was kind of sad. He was waiting for his sports story for real.
Sports story, I know.
Please leave your message.
He really didn't feel it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't knock him for not feeling it, but I'm like, yo, I feel it. Like, I go through it. Like, you know what I'm saying? We go through it. I'm not trying to hear it.
The only thing I have problem with China is three things. They've ruined sports for me right now. They ruined the summer of me, and they ruined a summer of me.
That's really how he feels about this, you know.
And my job's supposed to be opening up soon, so the summer of me is on postponed.
The summer of me. Gotta get it.
Oh, Harry, you mean as
Harry? You hear this? I can't make this stuff up.
You can't.
The summer of me.
And it's Kadik's point exactly.
Yeah,
that's why I like Trump.
It doesn't matter what we're talking about. We could be talking about somebody killing babies, and he's talking about sports. And the summer of
that baby on?
Are they killing the babies on a live feed on YouTube, or on a Twitch stream, on Twitter? I kind of want to know what type.
Yo, come on, man.
You want to know where to go see it?
No, and the crazy thing about it is, he's not joking here.
No,
so he said, well, Joe,
he's not.
Yeah, right. So then people were like, well, Joe, why do you have that on? This is the problem when we stick people with this mentality off in the corner and don't keep an eye on them. We forget they're existing. I always want to remember. Remember.
Trevor gives me insight. Like, I like it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He proves me right a lot. I love Trevor. Like, bro, I'm telling you. And I'm not even saying that to pick on you, Trevor. I'm actually being serious.
I am.
I'm doing a study right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a lifelong mission.
I will tell you this, Kadik. When I left in July, I did not watch one political thing until it was the impeachment voting, because I was like my buddy's like, we should check this out, make it see if it's entertaining or not. So that was the first time I watched something political since I left. I think it was in January when that happened. And Joe Joe right now wants to have an aneurysm right now after I said that.
No, I don't. I don't.
I hear you, Trev, because you can afford to do that. Like, I'm not mad. You know what I'm saying?
Really, you know, it's like, what do you got to worry about? They're kicking black people's on in China. What? Oh God! Wow, what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong? Do you know that's all the way in China? And they took away my baseball. I don't care about that. That's Trevor.
Well,
that's what you call a Trevor moment.
Well, I pulled a wrestling promo on you on that one, so that's what I did.
I just can't even.
And there you go, T-Rat.
There you go. Again, T-Rat. Right now, he's like, I don't like you guys. I hate that damn.
I
name."
should not even told you my computer restarted. Like, all right, oh well, my computer's not going to work today. I should have. Should have pulled a Kotick. Just don't show up today.
Nah, but Trev, I gotta keep it real. To pull a Kotick, you gotta. Oh my goodness, this is a lot. I'm not just pulling a Kotick.
You heard how he said it though. To pull.
You do not want to pull Kotick.
Oh my god.
Nah, you don't want to do
No,
that.
but you know, Kotick, I explained to people yesterday that you have a condition. It's a medical condition. There's a legitimate reason why Kotick does what he does. So I can't discriminate against him because, it's a medical condition. You got to understand this. So people are like,
it's called...
It's something. You don't got to tell them what it's called. You can call it whatever the hell you want to call it. I call it the Kotickinitis, but who knows, you can call it whatever you want to call it after a while. My goodness. So anyway,
I heard a dog whistle when Trevor said pull a Kotick just to replace.
Oh yeah,
the word.
oh yeah. Oh Harry, you're the devil. You are the devil right there. Oh my God, you are the devil. Oh, don't worry, Trevor didn't get that. Right over the head. And he's like, that don't concern me. Was that a baseball? Was it a basketball?
I'm actually watching Korean baseball right now, so I'm getting more entertainment out of that.
What I mean?
If my computer didn't restart and saw a home run, I would have gone crazy.
And like I said the other day, what you have to understand is Trevor stands a chance to be in a position that make massive decisions on people's lives. And this is his mentality. Trevor stands a chance to be in a position, an unchecked position, by the way, that makes massive decisions on people's lives. And he's like, oh, lies, what's wrong with you guys? You're breathing, right?
Breathing, you're good with it.
You ungrateful bastards.
Right. I know people like Trevor who are there in very, they got his mentality and they're in positions that affect people's lives, and all they could think about is what time is tea off. When is their tea time? That's all they care. They're ready to go tee off on the golf course. They don't care about you. I'm dead serious. These people are making decisions on people's lives every day. Well, you think they care about that? Oh, hell no. Watch this, Trevor hit me with some sports.
You should. Oh, you want sports right now?
See how quick that changed? You see that?
Now you want sports. Okay, I'll see how it is.
Just give me the damn sports, man. Go ahead.
All right. Little sad note. We gotta pour it out, or we're not sure where he's at right now. Former WWE superstar Shad Gaspard is missing after he was at the Venice Beach this past weekend. He's 39. Was last seen at the Marina del Rey Beach in Venice Beach. His wife Selena Gaspard said on her Instagram account, "If you see him, please call 911 or DM the family," she wrote. The same message appeared on the wrestler's Instagram. One of the photos showed Gaspard in his swimsuit standing on a beach. Authorities in the Los Angeles County told CNN that they are actively searching for the swimmer after he pulled out of the sea by a rip current on Sunday afternoon.
Wait a minute. Story don't add up. His wife tweeted, if you see my husband, tell him I'm looking for him?
Yes.
Okay. So what, did they have an argument or something?
No argument at all. They're at the beach and stuff.
But the way the story is structured, is that authorities saw him go under. Am I correct? Authorities who saw him getting pulled under by a rip current. Am I correct?
He was swimming about 50 yards.
So why the hell is she tweeting that? Where was she? She wasn't at the beach, was she?
No, she was not at the beach.
Okay, so she's at home.
Yes.
And she got the news that her husband is missing. And she put out a tweet saying, "If you see my husband, tell him I'm looking for him."
Please he wants him to contact the family.
Harry, turn your mic on, man. Tell me, save me here, Harry. Save me. Help me understand what do you think happened on that story.
Oh no, I got you. that lead breakfast that she fed him. It worked.
she weighted him down. Harry, help me understand that story there, because Trevor is telling me that his wife put out a tweet saying, if you see my husband, tell him I'm looking for him, or tell him to call me, or whatever the hell she put. Right? What was her tweet?
Well, I'm sure.
If you, I have
hold
the
on,
actual.
hold on. Well, what was her tweet?
It was on their Instagram account. If you've seen him, Instagram and Twitter, so it's pretty much the same tweet. If you've seen him, please call 911 or DM the family. His wife, Selena Gaspard, said on her Instagram account.
Okay, so when did she say that? After the authorities told her that he went missing, or when?
I guess I'm guessing after the authorities went missing and stuff.
So now you see where I'm going with this, Trevor. It is the authorities come to her door. Yes, who is it?
Hey, but it's him and his kid, right?
Yeah, him and his kid. Yeah,
it was him and his kid.
The kid got out of the rip current. I was about to explain that part before he cut me off.
Well, I understand all of that.
Wait, so the kid was saved?
This kid was saved,
the kid was saved.
But the husband was. They're still looking for the husband.
How old is the kid?
He's 10 years old.
Huh. So the kid could talk.
Right. So the kid could talk. Here's what I'm saying.
I mean, we got to remember he's a UFC guy, right? So
he's a wrestler.
Oh, he's a wrestler.
Wrestler.
So, okay. You got
he's probably doing an Iron Man thing. He gets in the Atlantic. He wants to come out in the Pacific.
Yo.
That's what it is. It has to be. When he shows up in China, everything will be okay. Because how you gonna lose your husband in a rip current, right? And then she's gonna say, if anybody sees him, let me know.
Exactly. That's my point.
That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Trevor, does that make sense to you? Well, that's where we are with it. It's like, wait a minute, there's a big gap in here. You lost your husband. Authorities show up at the door and tell you he's gone. We saw the rip current take him, and she puts out a tweet. Like, it's almost like, oh my God, my life
he's gonna
moves
come
on.
out on another beach.
Yeah. What kind of turn dimensions this one?
But she made it sound like he ran away.
Yeah. When authorities told you your husband went missing, we saw your husband's body got pulled away with a rip current, and you're tweeting or Instagramming, whichever.
Tweeting, there's no. Write a status.
And you're over here Instagramming or tweeting. Go ahead.
Maybe we don't know the whole story. Maybe when he left that morning, when he left that morning, he said, "I ain't coming back out the ocean." We're missing something.
Look, if they're gonna come up with a story like that, we get to rip it apart. They gotta. You can't come up with a half-end story like that and think we're just gonna let it be.
Right.
No. When I first heard this, I'm like, "Oh, I want this. I want this story." I'm like, "You do?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I saw a big gap in this story, and I'm like, Well, what the hell is going
he,
on here?
Is he a white wrestler, black wrestler?
He is a black wrestler.
Oh my God! There you
His
go.
wife white?
There
Is
you
his wife
go.
white? Hold on. Is his wife white?
Give me a second.
Oh my
Black man
God.
gone missing. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Yep.
Of course she's white. Successful black man in America.
Oh.
White wife. Look at him playing
We
that
can
game.
put him on a raft to China.
Yo.
Show that picture again. Show that picture again. She looked pretty good. Yeah. Yep. I want to know where his best friend was.
We gotta look at the security video of that morning.
Yes.
Where she's telling him, you know how they treat people in China?
Yo.
There is something missing. So Trevor, you gotta ask yourself, how do you know? How do you think that we figured out he was black, his wife was white?
I
These
knew
are
he
all
was.
experienced-
I knew he was black for the whole
No, but
time.
we don't know this. You knew it, but we didn't know it. We knew it. I didn't know. Did you know who he was, Harry?
No.
No, we didn't know, but we know the circumstance. Oh, this big wrestler went. First of all, there's a big hole in this story. Black folks don't swim.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Hey, look, I've been to the beach plenty of times with friends who only go up to their waist.
Yep. That's it.
Only up to their waist. They tell me, "What, you effing crazy? Where you going?" And I'm like, "Yo,
Really?
I gotta swim to the bell and back. That's what I do."
Okay.
And they're like,
and I see.
They're like, "You crazy? You're gonna go missing one day."
No, you know what's even more interesting. I remember, I could save myself in some water, just myself. If you expect me to come save you, this is a one-man trip, baby.
So Joe is not going to be your lifeguard.
Never gonna happen.
Yo,
So
I
if we
had,
go down,
I had a friend who was drowning. I went to save him. He kicked me in the chest, and I smacked him, and I left him. I let the lifeguard do it after that. He kicked me in the chest. I'm trying to save him.
Yeah.
Is that still your friend?
He's not a good friend anymore.
No, I'm telling you right now. You're out here drowning. You're in a situation out there in the water. I'm telling you right now. I'll look out there. I said, hope you're thirsty. I hope you're thirsty. I didn't tell you to go out there.
That day,
you want to swim to the
it's
bell.
my wife and kids. That's it. That's the only people I save.
Well, these days it's only my kid. Oh no, I will go save them. I'm gonna save my boys. Get out there, and they probably end up having to save me. But y'all know I'm the only one. Got me all out here swimming on. Get your butt on shore. Now they gotta save me because I done got so PO'd with them. But no, I'm telling you right now. I remember I was asked, I don't get it. You're from the islands. Every time I go down there, people from the islands don't swim. They go, what is that? Such beautiful water. I'm like, that's because we know what's out there in that water. What?
Sharks.
You don't ever hear the locals getting bit by sharks. Never. You don't never. It's always some damn tourists. Locals know what's out there. We're like,
It's just like Florida, Louisiana. You don't hear locals getting eaten by alligators.
No, exactly.
It's the tourists.
No, or you have gator catchers too.
No, only the tourists, and tourists are down there playing games. They go out there and I remember when we were down there in Orlando, and I saw this. I just saw it look like the trees are moving. My son was walking next to me. I snatched that little boy, threw him up on my shoulder so quick, and start walking in the street. Sure enough, we come around here. I'm like, oh, no. If this thing come out, it's gone. Gators are nothing to play with. gators, and I snatched my son up. We were walking down the pathway, and we were coming back, and I just saw that. Oh my God, that's a gator. Mm-hmm. I just saw the bushes move right now. That bush moving the wrong way. I just grabbed him because I had this one super emotion where I would just grab him by one hand and just sling him around my shoulder. They're like, yeah, and him and I, like, he just knew what to do. Like, he'd get up there, he just put his hand on my head and just whip his leg around. It was just like a going thing with us.
You just fireman carried him?
What's that?
Just fireman carried him?
Yeah, I mean, my son and I had a thing going on for years. It was just like I snatch him and throw him up on my shoulder.
Joe's like Secret Service with his family. You know what I'm saying? No. I'm serious. One time I drove by.
True story. It's a true story.
True story. He was walking with his family. I drove by. I was like, wait a minute. He's like 2 steps behind him, surveying the area. He got a mic in his ear. I'm like, yo, that's Joe.
No. You turn that light red. You turn it red.
He didn't even break character. He didn't even look at me. He accessed the threat and then kept moving. I was like, oh shoot. Nah, for real. I'm not even joking.
No. True. Let me tell the true part of that story. So,
no joke.
I'm walking down the sidewalk, and I had this habit of always putting my family in front of me, and I'm walking behind them, always surveillance, always doing the left, right. All right, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12, and once in a while I do the 6 o'clock. Check behind me. I'm always checking. So I have my family out in front of me, and it's just a natural thing. We went into a restaurant. This is right downtown New Haven, by the way.
Yeah, right
downtown. Yeah. So we go into a restaurant.
He was in the middle of the Ville. He was right downtown.
He's right. It's not like I'm in the middle of the Ville, but right downtown New Haven. So I could go into the restaurant. My family and I would go into the restaurant, and I'm sitting, my phone rang. This fool, Kotick, is on the phone. I said, yo, what up? He goes, what up, buddy God? I'm like, what? He go, what up, buddy God? He said, like, yo, you got your family in front of you, your surveillance in the home. And he brought it back to me, and they played back in my head. And I'm laughing, I'm dying. I'm like, oh, shoot, dang, he caught me. And I'm like, okay, whatever. A couple months later, we're in New York City. You know how those guys like to give out their CDs?
Oh, those fire mixtapes people give out?
Yeah. My ex-wife and son is in front of me, and we're walking down the sidewalk, and the guy goes, oh, man, but, you know, here you go. He wanted to give her a CD. She says no. And then he goes, oh, I have something on here for the kids. I look at him, and I'm like, yo, fall back. Oh, my bad, buddy God. My bad. I didn't notice, man. My bad, buddy God. My bad. It's like, look, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I want to hear that song for the kids he had.
For real.
But the point is that buddy God look is really intense, and I didn't really, I knew I did it, but I didn't know it was to that level. Yeah, people just always, I always wonder why people look at them and then look at me and it's like, I ain't messing with them. I'm telling you, every time I went on vacation with my family, it used to be like, man, yeah, I'll come back. I need my own vacation because I used to have to, I'm always watching, but no one's coming into my little zone. Forget about that. Forget about it. And not unless you want to catch some work. Then there's a need for you to do it.
Hey, Joe, what's your thoughts on Texas right now opening up?
What's my thoughts on Connecticut opening up today?
Texas has been open. I got this is ties to Texas. Youth sports can resume on May 31st in the great state of Texas.
Yo, Trevor's not gonna let his sports segment go.
No, he's not. Oh, hell
no. We moved on. Trevor did not move on.
Oh, because I want to know his opinion on the great state of Texas right now. Because Joe's all hunky-dory, like, I don't want no states opening right now until June or July. while the economy needs help. Am I right,
That's not
Harry?
where I'm at with it. I just want to make sure that we're safe. I don't want to play games. But go ahead. Let me hear. What's going on in Texas in sports? Go ahead. Let me hear this.
Youth sports. Emphasize on the youth. Greg Abbott said youth sports programs in Texas will soon be able to play again through the state.
What the hell is youth sport? Like you talking about those little baseball, little kids baseball and football and that type of stuff?
Si, senor.
That's
Correct.
no more than child abuse scams.
Look, I guarantee you that there's people who just jumped into the room.
Yeah.
And they're here for the business report, and we're going through this.
And they go through this.
I'm going to go quickly. Programs on May 31st can start practicing again without spectators, except for one parent or guardian per participant. June 15th, 2020, teams can begin holding games or competitions with or without spectators. The state recommendations are venues increasing cleaning, spectators are keeping their distance, and teams limit travel.
Okay, and all I got to say is play ball. All right, hit me with
No, you don't. You want everyone to be in their house still.
Of course. Let me get that. No, I want people quarantined. If we have a pandemic, epidemic on our hand, you're damn right. I want people to quarantine. All right, so I don't know what happened yesterday. I guess the real news came out about the drug because the Dow tumbled 390 points. Man, 390 points, and NASDAQ is down 49 points, and the S&P is down 30 points. Looking at world markets right now. Why do I hear an echo? Okay, world markets, you're looking at Japan, Hong Kong, London, and Germany. The futures are saying as of 7:41 this morning, the futures are up. All the world markets are all up. Looking at the big losers on the ball, Coles. I like Coles. What the hell is going on at Coles? Coles.
Nobody's going in there shopping.
No, they're taking a big hit apparently. What were we talking about? Technip FMC PLC. Don't know what the hell they do, but they're big losers. Hess Corp. I didn't even know Hess is still around. PVH Corp.
Isn't Hess owned by? Is it the Venezuelans?
Exxon, I think. No, that's Citgo.
Oh, okay.
They have all the Speedway gas stations. That's what Hess has now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they rebranded it as Speedway gasoline.
Oh, okay.
It's a big Midwest.
Devon Energy Corp is also called. You know, the Hess is just stuck in the 70s. I'm going to get to them in a second. Right now, commodities, oil is down. Oh, excuse me. Oil is up to $32.51 a barrel. What the hell am I talking about? Gas is up. Gold is up. Silver and corn, they're down. I don't know what copper is doing.
Copper's up.
Copper is up. Okay. So you want to know what those numbers mean? I suggest that you holler at a certified financial advisor. Ask him, what's good? That's good. Help me out. I don't know about Hess. I said,
we could all be rich. We all invested when oil was zero.
You ain't lying. Well, you would be, because you don't see a profit on this thing until, because you got to remember, the futures is what you were buying on.
Oh.
So, and it went back up that overnight. When it went down to zero, overnight is what
yeah, actually it dipped under zero. I think it was negative 47, and then it went back up.
Right.
But I'm sure we didn't have the capital to jump in anyway, because you had to
buy not at that level. You had to buy a big bulk.
Yeah, you had to buy in bulk.
Yeah, I mean we go anyway.
Technic FMC PLC is a global oil and gas company and completes project life cycle services for energy industry.
And where they're out of, do you know? Saudi.
They are London, England, Houston, Texas, Paris, France.
Oh, well, there you go. Those are big ones. And Houston, Texas, you said?
Si, senor.
Okay. Oh, okay. So anyway, you want to know what those numbers mean, you need to holler at a certified financial advisor. And I started to talk about, by the way, I'm going to talk about it right now on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. But most importantly, I got to let you guys know this Hess gas station, I mean, not gas station, Hess, the corporation, are they stuck in the 70s or what? Got it? Harry? Rob? You guys from the 70s? Is Hess stuck in it? You ever see around Christmas time? Hess is always pushing them damn Hess trucks that they had around since 74. How many of those they made back then that they're still trying to get rid of?
Wow. The ones that light up?
Yeah, you ever seen those little Hess truck thing, man? And they try to make it sound like some damn toy that some kid did once a day. Are you kidding me? Kids are still pushing those things around.
Hey, those 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds got to play with something before iPads.
No. Today's kids are like before. My sister had kids that are 2 years older. No, the oldest is 2, and the youngest is a little over 1, and knows how to use the phone already. Knows how to use. Are you kidding me?
Kids on their tablets.
Yeah,
they driving everything on their tablets.
Yeah, exactly. These kids, I mean, man, my niece and my nephew, man, they're babies, but you don't call them a baby, especially not the sister, and especially not my niece. Forget about it. They think they
throw a fit then.
This girl, she was like, Kotick, I can't make this up. This girl was like, from her 1-year birthday till for like 6 to 8 months, this girl had a eye rolling issue with me every time. Like she would roll her eyes, just roll her little eyes. I'm like, look at this girl. I'm like, I told my sister, I'm like, your daughter's rolling her eyes at me. She's like, kids. I'm like, kids, nothing. What are you gonna do? You know, and that's the problem with us. We're just punk parents, man. We just let them, you know, we don't beat kids, man. You know, in my family, we I guess my sister and I, we took it like, well, we took enough beating for y'all. Keep it moving. We took enough beating for y'all.
I know. Back in the day, an eye roll was equivalent to you cursing at them.
Yeah,
that was an automatic slap in the household.
Seriously.
Yeah. I'm good, man. That looked good, man. She rolled her eyes at me. Now it's like, Uncle Jay. Uncle Jay. Oh, I'm the great uncle now. It's like that. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest, man. She is hilarious. She got, you know, when she was a baby, my other sister was staying in the guest bedroom, and she saw that you know, my other sister was coming down helping my sister with her, and you know, that was Aunt June's room. Well, I stayed there for about a week. Next thing I know, this girl is telling me, Aunt June's room. I'm like, oh, geez, she's cussing me out. Get out. So many really, you know, get out. I'm like, man, I love this kid. And her brother, oh my God. Yeah, look, brother, man, I love this kid, man. You see this kid here, Superman. He climbs everywhere. He's Spider-Man. This kid, look at me, Kotick. You look at me, look at his high chair. Look at me, look at his high chair. And then he's like, nigga, you gonna move or what?
Yo, he's the best, man.
A lot of kids love Spider-Man.
Yeah, I didn't move fast enough. He was like, I do this on my own. Next thing I look, he's in the chair. I'm like, oh, the hell he got up there? Oh, that's what he wanted me to do. Because he was just looking at me, looking at the high chair, looking at me, looking at the high chair. And I'm like, I'm not moving. And, you know, I'm like, yo, okay, what exactly is he? Is he trying to get my attention about something? I wouldn't do anything. I turned my head for like 3 seconds. He was up in that high chair, like, I'm like, what the heck? Oh, man. My sister's the greatest with those kids. Oh, my God. She's like, you know, you figure that here we are later on in life, you know, it's like, whoo, how you handle little ones. But then, you know, when you think about it, that's standard in our community. Because grandmoms always took care of the little ones while mom go out to work.
Yeah.
Grandmoms always took care of them. No, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why is that such a problem? And she's in a position in her life where, you know, those kids were number one. God bless them.
Well, it's a problem now. You can't send your kids that are carrying the COVID to your grandparents, to the grandparents these days.
I know, that's true. Did you see the woman who invented a hug shield for her kids and her mother?
Yeah.
You saw that? Yeah, she invented a hug shield. It's a plastic that she goes up. She has a sleeve, and the kids put their hands in the sleeve and they hug their grandmom in the driveway. And the grandmom put her hand in the sleeve, and they just turn their head away from the plastic and just hug. I'm like, wow, that's good.
Nah, man, I'm
It's a
not with
screen.
that, man. That's cute, but no, man. Come on, man. We need human contact still. Let's stop this.
Well, no, we still
Come on.
need it, but in this situation, we don't. We can't take that chance. I mean, them little bastards to mess around and kill Granny. No, nobody wants that. You know?
No.
And then,
I
you know,
mean,
you're going to have
full
Harry on here talking
disclosure.
about it was the hug that killed him. It wasn't COVID.
I had my grandchildren over Saturday. I had my grandchildren.
them over?
We babysat Saturday.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like real grandparents. Come on, man.
Wait a goddamn minute. Wait a minute, you babysat. Where the hell your kids was going?
Well, my daughter and her husband, since they've been quarantined all this time, they needed a
break.
couple of hours out. I mean, they actually
Oh.
what they did is they went to the shooting range.
Wow.
So they went to the shooting range. We stood with the kids for a couple hours. It was pretty good.
What was that like? Seriously, what was it really like?
What? The kids running
How did-
around and
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it was mostly with my wife because I was actually working. That's it was a Saturday, and my granddaughter kept coming up and saying, "Papa, you're not supposed to work on the weekend."
Oh,
She gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
she's-
but it was cool. They came over. They
You better
did their
train that
thing,
20th
watched
century
TV,
baby
went,
to.
went
better
outside,
train
played with
that
the truck.
You better do it. You got him playing with the truck.
Yeah, no
You better
truck.
train that.
They did their truck boxes and all that.
Oh, okay. Oh, the truck thing. Yeah, yeah. Where they drew. I don't know. Maybe you said it and I missed it. What do you mean the truck?
The truck.
No, chalk.
Truck.
No,
They
the
were
truck, the
outside
truck.
drawing things.
Oh yeah, okay. That's what I thought you said after the second time round. But anyway, well, yeah, you know, it's I don't know. You know, if I'm waiting on Caleb or my son and the other one to give me Caleb or Jay to give me some kids, some grandkids, it's just not gonna happen. I may as well just go out and look for somebody with grandbabies and just like, hey, you want to hook up?
Comment.
When I tell you this man has issues, he has issues.
Don't waste your breath.
Everyone I know my age, you know, they look
Hey, I
at
don't know,
Harry. Harry's younger than me. He's got his grandkids. You know, Jesus.
I
God.
think Caleb is using his COVID sleeve.
Wow.
That went over his head. He
I know not to touch his
Unbelievable.
elbows.
Oh my God. So anyway, it's not happening. Leave it up to my two sons. I'm never gonna be a grandfather. Never. I'm not gonna have that luxury. You know, like okay, I have my 2 hours. Come get your kids. Not gonna happen. Not in my world. Like a lot of things. All those bastards gonna wait till I'm 90 and I could barely move, and then like, come over here to grandpa. And then your punk father waited so long.
Hey,
They'll
look,
be
when they
happy.
come and they stay for 2 hours, that's a luxury. They usually want to stay for 2 days.
But well, what is it like though? I mean, when they want to stay for 2 days, I mean,
But when they stay for 2 days, it's like I'm on a Disney Channel freaking, Groundhog Day. Everything's busy.
You wake
There
up.
we
to
go.
mid-
Now you come in the Kotick land. That's how you pull a Kotick, you know what I'm saying? My kids are here for 18 years at least, so imagine.
How are your kids, Scotty?
They good, man. My son
Did
just
you ever
started
take your son-
walking. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my God.
Uh-oh,
my
getting into
God.
everything.
He's running around. He found out that he could scream. He's like
Oh,
in
my-
everything. Straight baby. Straight toddler right
Yeah, because he got older siblings, so you know it's on.
Yeah. Oh no, it's all. Oh no, he learns. Oh, they learn so quick right now. Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
when they have older siblings, it is next level because they pick up on stuff. I remember my nephew, he used to try to keep up with his sister, and she could have run, and he couldn't even walk. And you just used to look at him like he just used to sit there like, okay, all right, wait till I get my legs.
Yeah, he
that's
just
all.
watched her
Just
all the
waiting.
time. Like,
Just waiting.
Yeah, like he had this whole attitude. Okay. When he found out that he could walk, what? One time he was walking and she was still running. She was taking off on him. He's like, oh no, not so fast. He dropped down on that floor and just started running behind. He started picking fast behind
There
it.
we go. There we go.
Word.
I watched him watch my son the whole time. As soon as he was able to walk, he imitated like a lot of things that he does.
Yep.
He waited.
That's what they do. They
Patiently.
watch their older sibling like, okay, I see that one foot in front of the other. All right, I get it. Okay, all right.
Amazing.
That's how you do it. I got
Tell
this.
him, when he was a baby, he used to look at him like he was a rock star. He used to be like, yo, he does everything. In the days, just looking at him like, oh my goodness.
One day I'm going to do this. All right, hit me with another story before we let our guest in.
all right, business news. Authority says Hobby Lobby stole an ancient tablet must go back to Iraq. U.S. federal prosecutors are seeking the return to Iraq of a roughly 3,500-year-old clay tablet purchased by the Hobby Lobby arts and crafts store chain for display in Washington, D.C. Based in a Bible museum.
Oh man, I shop at Hobby Lobby. Come on, man.
Wait, I
You
don't
shop?
understand the
Wait.
story.
You shop at Hobby Lobby?
Yeah, you know, come on, man. I do shirts, man. I'm a crafty guy.
Oh man. You know Michael's is open.
Yeah, Michael's too.
All right, stick to
Can
it. Come on,
somebody
man.
explain that story to me?
Yeah.
I know it's a little crazy right there. It sounded real crazy.
Yeah, sorry about that. So Hobby Lobby, during an auction, stole the very ancient piece.
Allegedly.
No, the authorities described it as stolen Iraq property in a civil complaint filed on Monday.
Yeah, it's still a complaint. They ain't found guilty yet, so it's still alleged.
Oh, okay, not through trial. I got you. My bad. But yes, they have a very, 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 very old piece of history.
Hold on,
That
man.
is
We need it for our
worse.
lobby. It's a hobby.
Now, wasn't ISIS the ones who were stealing all the artifacts? I'm saying,
Thank
how
you.
did they get it?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
Thank you. See, See,
It's- you gotta make that connection.
I love it when Harry connect the dots.
Right.
How did Hobby Lobby get it? Keep in mind, I'm surprised that Harry's not supporting Hobby Lobby. They're the one.
I've never shopped at Hobby Lobby, and I don't know what they do. So
Hobby Lobby was the inventors of But Obama.
Yeah.
Yo, did okay. I was gonna say the guest got kicked out.
Oh no, the guest is here. Guest got to turn the light on though. He looked like a silhouette.
Hello, I'm here from the Witness Protection Program.
Yeah, you sure look What's going on? I mean,
I've entered into hiding following the results of last night's political party convention.
He actually looks like a Nancy Grace.
I'm in an undisclosed location. Do not tell Senator Rooney where I'm located.
You can just see the political ad.
Hold on. I know. I know. Keep playing. You're gonna end up on a political ad. You keep playing this game. You sound like what's that, Bane?
Yeah.
Joe Ugly, I am here to help you understand exactly what it is that I'm doing.
Okay.
Up in Stop Solitary, Connecticut. So.
Well, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking right now with Alex Telvis. Did I say it right this time?
You sure did.
All right, my man. Alex Telvis, he is running for state senator here in the state of Connecticut. And he's running against, the old god, Martin Looney, who happens to be the Senate pro tem. He's the president pro tem. Last night was the convention. How did that go?
We got a vote, baby.
You got a vote?
Oh yeah.
That's what counts. And you know, it's interesting. And the reason why I say that counts because, like I said, he's Senate pro temp, and he couldn't keep one vote in check. So help me understand, who was it? Don't tell me someone from all the way up in BF Egypt.
It's been there's probably been like 280 conventions while Looney's been senator, and I think this is the first convention where anybody pulled a vote on the guy. I don't think anyone's ever gotten a vote on him before at these conventions.
Wow.
Our vote was from my main man, giving him a big shout out. Love this guy, Chris Ashley from Hamden, progressive. He fights for Medicare for all, Green New Deal. He wants to see an open political system. He had every one of those.
Okay, hold on. Before we get going here, Alex, I don't want us to get too crazy. I know you're in your t-shirt, you're on your couch, but just remember, we're still on FM this time. Go ahead. Yeah. I don't want the F-bomb to come jumping out again. Well, go ahead. Go ahead. He's on this good behavior.
Yeah, I'm going to behave well. But yeah, so it was good. We got a vote, Tell
us about this convention. How did it go down? So at this convention, what it is just bringing everyone up to speed. What happens is you have the person who's running for office. You on a party, you have different individuals running for a party, and you're looking for the endorsement of the party. And the way you get the endorsement is based on how many delegates you could pick up. And usually we're looking at the old guard. I'm going to call this guy. We're talking about Martin Looney, who is the Senate President pro temp, and he's been there for the longest. He's been there since I believe it was like 1980 or something like that.
He's been there since Ronald Reagan was the president.
Since Ronald Reagan was president, since the 80s, he was up in the Senate at the State House, and he runs the floor right now. And you want to unseat this guy?
It's my seat.
Okay.
I'm marking it down. I'm going for it. I got it in my sights.
Okay.
He's gonna have to earn it to keep it. We're gonna make the voters decide. Connecticut is one of those. For many, many years, this delegate system through the convention was the only way you could make the ballot in Connecticut. But there was a federal lawsuit 20 years ago that said that if you don't make the ballot by convention, you have the right, as an American, to petition your way onto the ballot. So that's what we're going to
petition your way. So you got to go raise these signatures now.
That's right. And before this election, we would have had to go in person, get every one of those signatures by hand from each individual person. But we filed our own lawsuit a couple weeks ago. We didn't think that was fair with COVID-19 going on. And we believe that it should be easier to run for office during these times, not harder. And actually, 3 days after we filed our lawsuit, Governor Lamont passed an executive order about the petitions. And through that order, we are now developing an app. I've got a crack team with a group of kids from Three Rivers Community College, including my chief technologist, a guy named Jalon Ross. They are developing a web app that will allow us to collect the signatures electronically, not only make the ballot this year, but make history.
To vote?
Not to vote. It's just to sign the petition signatures. So the petitions, the Secretary of the State actually issued a guidance saying that it's okay to collect them by email. So this web app just automates that process.
Okay. And now, can they kick it out because of this web app was not approved?
Well, we have pending litigation. We have, a couple lawyers who might have a little experience with this type of issue, and we're gonna work it out for the people. And not only are we making this app for our campaign, but we're gonna make it free and available for any campaign in the state of Connecticut or nationwide that faces these kinds of requirements to get the ballot. Because we don't think that the convention party insiders should decide. The voters should decide.
Okay.
Who should be the senator?
Okay, so tell me something. As I told you, as I've been describing Martin Looney as the old God, meaning that he's been there for a while and he's been gotten to see pretty well. I mean, he's been there. There are those who are not saying anything. I haven't heard people that want to say negative things about him. So help me understand, why do you think you'll do a better job than Senator Looney?
Well, I think that there's a lot of people in our district who don't even know who Senator Looney is and don't really necessarily know what a state senator does. And that's part of the reason why I'm running, is to raise awareness and to bring up some of the issues that a state senator deals with. Look, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's a Democrat like me. He's a progressive. He's a lawyer, you know, criminal defense lawyer. But where I think he hasn't done enough, last time we were on the show, we talked about car taxes and home taxes. They're the highest in Camden and New Haven, not just in anywhere in Connecticut, but pretty much anywhere in the country. And that means that if you're trying to start out a career, start out a family, you're paying extremely high taxes in Hamden for your car, for your home. You've got an extra burden. You're starting at a disadvantage in life compared to people living just a couple miles away in Woodbridge or Bethany with the same car paying less tax, with the same value of their home paying less tax. Senator Looney has done nothing to fix that. In fact, over the last 5 years, it's become even worse.
Is that a state issue or is that a city issue?
It's the #1 state issue, because for towns like Hamden and New Haven, the majority of the budget comes from state funds. So what I like to say is, if the state gets a cold, the city of New Haven gets COVID.
So, wow. Okay, but I understand it's coming from the state, and I'm glad you explained that, by the way, for the listeners. But what if he does bring more money to the cities, the Hamden, New Haven, and I'm just being an advocate here.
Yeah.
He brings more money to Hamden and New Haven, but because there's so many other issues that needs to be addressed, that money does not go to lower taxes. You're saying that money should be earmarked specifically for lowering taxes? Because if it goes in, it could easily go into the general fund.
There needs to be an education funding formula. And this is something that the legislators, including Senator Looney, agreed with me 5 years ago needed to happen. Basically, what it says is that the money that comes to each city or town, it's not just based on whether you've got Senator Looney or not, or you've got a really powerful senator. It's based upon a funding formula. How much wealth is in the town? How many needs are there for the kids? You know, how many schools have high numbers of kids with disabilities or who need special education or who are English language learners, and adjust the funding based on those statistics so that they meet the needs of the schools. And what you'll see is in states where they have those formulas, the property taxes, instead of being like Connecticut, where it's like low here, high up here, you know, down here in another town, it's the same, around the same property tax across the state. And so that's gonna help New Haven and Hamden, where we have those really high taxes compared to other towns in Connecticut. You know, we need a senator who fights for us like that. But it's not just the taxes, you know. I want to see our whole district get more jobs and more money when this COVID ends, because people need to put food on the table. And Senator Looney has blocked a lot of stuff that could help our district, especially the airport, something I love to talk about. You know, this airport is something that can really bring in a lot more business, a lot more activity, a lot more jobs for people in our area, a lot of people who could really use those jobs, union jobs. And Senator Looney has blocked the airport for years because he lives nearby, his country club is nearby, and, you know, he tends to side with the people who don't want the airport over the majority of the district that would like to see it expand and like to see it prosper.
But the majority of the district, again, I'm being advocate here. I hate to say devil's advocate, but I see. But I know, but the majority of the district does not live out by the airport, so he does have to pay attention to that level, to that corner of his constituents. Am I correct?
Well, that's one of the things I'm trying to do. I mean, one of the things a lot of people in the district don't even realize that the airport is in their district. You know, that it's actually a really important part of the district economy, that it could fit into a really good strategy. You know,
and what I'm saying is there are those who the majority of the district itself, like if you're living in Hamden, you're not right on the airport. Opposed to if you're living out by the airport itself, which is still the same district. But let's just say the majority, something like 90% of the district itself is outside of the airport district, is outside of the airport area. So they don't have the effects of the airport, i.e. noise, as such, whatever.
I mean, it's just like if you live next door to the hospital. You know, if you live next door to the hospital, you're probably not going to want to see the hospital open up a new clinic. But you know, the fact of the matter is that area of the city has had the hospital and has had the clinic for 100 years. And so when the hospital wants to open up a new clinic, like the neuroscience center, even though there's going to be some people living nearby who are not happy that there's going to be more cars, there's going to be more parking. Look, it's a freaking hospital. They need a neuroscience center. You know what I mean? That's what comes first. I said freaking.
Okay. But here's the deal, though. I guess I understand what you're saying, because when I first moved back into town, and I'm downtown New Haven, and I never forget the first 6 months, it was pure hell for me to sleep at night sometimes because of the ambulance just going by. And Kotick and Love Babs and all of them were like, well, that's what happens when you move into the city. And I had to accept that. But in some cases, it's like I also had to do pushback, because when I look out the window and see a cop just going around the corner, just going for no damn reason. So my point is, yes, I mean, you're not going to find some airplane just flying around just for no reason at the airport, but it could be a noise issue for the people who live there in particular. Yeah, what is the city doing about that, or have the city done anything about that?
And you know, the city, the state, even the feds have been giving money to homeowners to retrofit their houses to add, you know, noise dampening technologies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to protect them. And I support that 100%. I don't want to subject anybody to noise that they don't want to listen to, especially my voice, but also planes. And, you know, so we definitely, you know, want to take care of that. But at the same time, you know, you buy a house next to the airport, you have to expect, like you said, that there's going to be some noise. And there's also benefits to living next door to the airport too that you get. You know, so it's not all a one-sided bag.
Well, talk about those benefits real quick. We could just broad stroke that. Well, just name one quick benefit of living next to an airport.
I mean, look at New Haven right now versus Hartford. I would much rather live in New Haven than Hartford, right? And it's got a lot more business and a lot better, you know, like it's got the university, you know, Yale.
Easy, you know, you're going to the state level.
I'm going hard. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just take that for granted for a second. Hartford has got the convention center up there, right?
Okay.
So you want to have a big event, you want to have a convention, you want to bring in businesses from around the world, a conference. You've got the facilities in Hartford to do that. And people can fly in from all over the world into Bradley, and you can have your conference really easy. Now go down to New Haven. We don't have that kind of conference center. We don't have that kind of convention center. We don't have that kind of ability to hold those kinds of events. And one of the main reasons why is because of our airport, and because the airport is not up to snuff to be able to bring in that kind of big ticket event that we want to have in New Haven to really bring in a lot of more money, a lot more businesses, startups, technology. And
everything else negative that comes with it. Now, I'm going to do pushback.
Sure.
You have something like Hartford, for example. After 5 p.m., downtown Hartford is dead. there's no activity per se after business hours downtown Hartford, and that's generally because, well, there's no one living downtown. You don't think with a convention center and all of that down here it becomes more expensive to live, or if at all affordable, if even livable downtown?
Well, that's another issue that I'm glad that you brought up, which is housing, because Connecticut has one of the worst housing markets in the world for people who are starting out, trying to start a family, pay rent. Rent in this state is way too high. I would use another word if we weren't on FM radio. It's way too high. And that's why one of the bills that I'm going to propose as a state senator is statewide rent control. Under Senator Looney, the state has actually passed laws to get rid of rent control and actually limit the ability of cities and towns to protect renters. So, a lot of tenants have been forced to be subject to the whims of really bad landlords who do a lot of really bad stuff and charge a ton of money for it, and there's very little accountability. I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm going to go after these slumlords. Well, first of all, I'm a civil rights lawyer, and I've been taking on these slumlords in court for years and winning. And I've been involved in litigation that's resulted in more than almost $20 million being awarded to the tenants of apartments that were allegedly contaminated with mold, contaminated with water damage, and led to the relocation of the people living there. So I know how to beat them in court. So I know the law, and I know where the law is weak and needs to be improved. And the other thing about it too is I'm going to advocate for the funding, because under Governor Lamont, there's been a moratorium placed on the construction of new affordable housing. That's going to only make affordable housing less affordable. That's only going to make things worse.
That's a subjective term. I really resent that term. Affordable housing. You get so subjective. What's affordable for one may not be affordable for another. Tell me that you're going to make mixed use with low income, and wealth. I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Let me just say, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I live at Mill River Crossing down here across the street from Ferraro's. It's a 90% low income development. 90% of the families who live here in our community get subsidized rent or don't pay any rent. 10% of the units are like mine, full price, but it's a little bit more reasonable rent than what you might find downtown at some of those apartment buildings. And this is the model. I really believe this is the model for what new housing should look like in the state of Connecticut and the city of New Haven, where
I think it's across the country, actually.
People of different incomes, people of different races living together in harmony. I don't know how much my next door neighbor pays. They don't know how much I pay. They don't know where I came from. I don't know where they came from. The point is that we're all neighbors. We're all community members. We lend each other a cup of sugar or a stick of butter, and we go about our days.
He's one of those. I'm talking with Alex Dallas. Alex is running for state senator, want to unseat Martin Looney from the position, who happens to be president pro temp. And I ask you, as far as it goes for infrastructure is a big thing, and I think we're going to need that to help with this economy, to help us kickstart the heart of the economy.
I love infrastructure.
And then on infrastructure, what? Excuse me.
I love infrastructure. I love airports, right? But you got to be able to connect people to the airport.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say.
You got to have good public transit. You got to have good housing. Infrastructure. I love infrastructure. What can I say? I'm a nerdy guy with a beard.
Those are the shovel and pickaxe type of infrastructure. I'm talking about another infrastructure is technology, and I have an interest, of course, in that. Where do you see technology going in the state of Connecticut in the next 5 years or so, and what do you think that you can do to push for technology in the state? For example, I just recently understood that old Bactier, I'm going to call him out because I'm not sure yet. I don't want to be caught up, but Bactier has some kind of financial burden or something like that. Are you aware of this? I'm not fully aware of the whole story. I was just told this recently, and I don't want to spread rumors on him.
I haven't heard that story in particular, but I want to answer your question about technology.
Okay, go for it. That's what I want.
Technology is why I should be the state senator, because our state has fallen so far behind on its technology systems. First of all, Connecticut's criminal justice system still uses paper files in the year 2020. So when COVID happened and courthouses were closed down and locked, literally people who were trying to get out of jail, who were trying to get out of prison at the end of their sentence, couldn't get their files because their criminal justice files were on paper sitting in a room somewhere. And so they were forced to sleep in a cell with 5 or 6 other guys who could have had COVID because we don't have a computer system for our criminal justice system. I'll give you another example though. Yesterday, the state employee email system went down for hours. But of course, that kind of thing happens. You know, you can't prevent every kind of crash or every kind of downtime. But there's tons of examples like this, and I've always been a tech guy. I've always been a tech whiz. We've got our chief technologist officer was my first hire of my campaign, Jalan Ross, who's creating a web app because the state of Connecticut wouldn't do so. You know, we're saying if the state won't up its technology game, we'll build our own, and we're going to make it even better, and then we'll donate it to the state of Connecticut, because that's the spirit of technology and innovation that we want to bring to this campaign.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, as far as these fiber optics versus this integrated system that a lot of these guys have out here, as I understood, we have lines and lines of miles of fiber optics already laid down. Am I correct, Harry? Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, the federal government laid down the fiber optic lines, but it takes the municipalities to actually run with it, to expand it.
Yeah, I would. So municipal.
How would you bring us to that? How would you bring us up to speed on something like that? Do you even see that in part of your?
I think that if you had a municipal fiber optic system for internet with universal broadband for free for all Connecticut citizens, the return on the investment would be insane. The return on the money that you put into making our state #1 on internet, especially at a time when people are leaving.
Well, give me an example. Why do you think that would be insane? Well, why do you
I'm
think
telling
it
you, right now, you're already seeing, because of COVID, and I'm not endorsing it by any means, but you're seeing it just as a fact. A lot of people don't want to live in New York City right now.
Okay.
They just went through a really hard time. They'd love to like move out of New York City, come to Connecticut. You got more fresh air, more sunlight, you know, a little bit more green if you look for it. But how are you going to do that job? Maybe as a stockbroker or as a lawyer or an analyst or an accountant or anything, unless Connecticut has top flight, 100% excellent broadband internet. And actually, a lot of places in Connecticut don't even have very good internet. And so every dollar that we put into upgrading our internet infrastructure in Connecticut is going to come back to us 100 times. It's going to be the best investment we ever made.
What I always said, and I'm still speaking with Alex Stelbus, who's running for state senator. Alex, one of the things I've always highlighted is when you fix one thing, you got to make sure you don't break another. So here we are. We're in a situation right now where more people are going to go to home-based business, and more people are going to work from home or such. But you're going to break other economies, such as the restaurants that were supporting those office buildings and such. How do you balance that out?
Well,
where do you see that? Because that's something that, as a matter of fact, it's on the plate right now for where we stand.
This is something that I'm really glad you asked me it, because I'm a public health guy. You know, I'm a bleeding heart liberal. I don't like seeing people put at risk. You know what I mean? I don't like seeing things get reopened when it could be risky. But hard for me to criticize, hard for me to disagree with people who can't put food on the table. If you're going to have to pick between putting your life at risk or not feeding your kids, you're going to put your life at risk to feed your family. And so that's literally the calculation that people are being forced to make right now in our state. And I think that's wrong. If you either got to open it up, or if you close it, You've got to pay people while it's closed. You know, the
Okay.
Constitution of the United States says that the United States government shall not take liberty, life, or property without due compensation. But when they take away your right to work, that's your liberty, your life, and your property. You need to be compensated. You need to be compensated if they stop you from working. It's not right. And so I stand in solidarity with the people who are asking for some help here. What are we supposed to do? You know, people will put their lives on the line for their families, and I stand with.
And I agree with you. But what another part of this equation that I'm focusing on, it's right now we're looking at people who are going to be working from home, i.e., Twitter, for example. Twitter is not going back to the office space. And I just want to take that model right now. Let's just look at that model because we have tech companies right here in the state of Connecticut.
Right.
Twitter is not going back to the office space. And then, so all of these individuals are going to be working from home.
Oh,
the sub businesses is what's going to be getting hurt. And it's not necessarily COVID. It's what's hurting these businesses. It's not a health issue that's necessarily hurting these businesses. Is that the employees of Twitter are no longer going to be there when when that area opens back up. So the restaurants, the coffee shops, the bars, anything in that area, all the way down to the shoe shine guy.
Or we've got a lot of great businesses. We've got a lot of great businesses in New Haven, like the axe throwing company that just opened up. You know, the escape rooms. You know,
no, but I'm talking in regards to the right now, the tech businesses right now that are they have decided to work from home. How are we what would you propose to help these businesses? Because great example, let's look at the district. All right, let's go as far as
where I have my office is at the district.
Okay, so you're at the district right now. There's a beautiful restaurant in the back.
Right.
Right. So that restaurant is relying on the district. What happens if all the techies at the district decide we're going to work from home? That restaurant is going to get hurt. So what would you propose as the middle way to keep that restaurant going?
Well, the first thing that I would say is for every business that's affected by these orders that are being deprived of their business because of the orders, like you said, because people are working from home, there needs to be compensation. And there's a number of ways that can happen. You know, when they first started out, they started out with a business grant and a business loan. But the money ran out in days.
Real quick. Yeah.
And now they're fighting over whether they're going to reauthorize it, they're going to put more money in it. But a really simple fix, which I've been advocating for from the beginning, is to pass a law like the Terrorism Risk Insurance Act of 2002, which was passed after 9/11, which created a federally funded insurance program. Because before 9/11, a lot of businesses got affected by 9/11 because of the lack of travel. You know, a lot of travel fell apart afterward. Right. And but before 9/11, business insurance didn't cover terrorism under any circumstances. Anything affected by terrorism, you got denied your insurance. So after 9/11, Congress passed a law, the Terrorism Risk Insurance Act, which retroactively changed insurance policies and created a federal fund for the insurance companies to allow them to retroactively compensate people for the harms that they experienced after 9/11. And
is that passed on to the consumer, to the individuals?
Well, it's actually it's passed. The risk and the harm is spread not just on the businesses that are being harmed, that are facing the full burden, but it's spread across society to the insurance companies, the banks, the Federal Reserve, and institutions that have the reserves to have a cushion to deal with something like this. In a disaster, it's always the little guy that gets thrown off the lifeboat. And so what we need is policies that spread out the harm so that it's as small as possible on each individual person, and no individual person has to take it alone. The politicians that get up and they say, we're all in this together and we're not alone. Time to prove it.
Speaking of, right now you have these big corporations, and we have a lot of them here in Connecticut. I don't know of any that's based here in Connecticut that has done it. A lot of these corporations who can make money in different areas. What do you say to those corporations who can make money like on Wall Street? They can make money, or they have a high reserve, but they're taking money in for not like they're doing something illegal, but it's ethically, it's totally ethically
questionable.
It's wrong, questionable, exactly.
Yeah.
So you what do you say to these corporations? Do you think that there should be a law that says that if you make XYZ amount, or if you have money sitting in reserves, you need to leave this COVID money alone?
Look,
because it's not like they're breaking the law. The law says they can have it.
If I become the state senator, there's going to be a new sheriff in town when it comes to corporations. Okay, I've tangled with them in state court, in federal court, in arbitration, in mediation. I know what it takes to hold them accountable, and I know what hurts them when they're behaving badly. It's a shot in the wallet. And so what I would do is I would use the state legislature's powers of investigation and oversight.
Hold on, your voice went out. Your voice went down.
Ooh, I think I put my hand on my microphone. So I would use the state government, state legislature's powers of oversight and investigation to put these CEOs on the stand under oath on a Zoom, maybe on a Zoom like this, and say, on page 298 of your financial statements from 2020, it says that you have $8 million in reserve. Why are you applying for $2 million in federal stimulus funding? And then on video, in public, in front of the taxpayers, they can explain their behavior. And you know what we find is that when you force people to do that, when you force big companies to explain themselves in public, their position tends to change a couple minutes before they have to go on TV.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I've seen it many times. You know, some people don't believe that, corporations ever change. But you put the light, they're like cockroaches. You put the light on them and they start scattering. I know how it goes.
Period. They're already putting their running shoes on, seeing that I'm running. They're getting ready to scurry.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Shake Shack would have never give back that money if the spotlight wasn't put on them and shame them. LA Lakers wasn't going to give back that money. Then none of them would have been talking about giving back that money if the help that those lights weren't put on them.
And I know the games they play. I know how they hide. I know how they hide money. I know how they hide information. I know how to get to the bottom of it, and I'm not going to put up for the nonsense. I don't care about their lobbyists because I don't take money from lobbyists, unlike my opponent. And I really believe
shots fired.
And I believe in just fighting for the people and getting some transparency and accountability out of these big corporations. I don't care what the CEO says. I want to hear from the janitor. I want to hear from the person at the bottom who's working hard to put food on the table for their family.
Okay. Now, all of this sounds good, and I support people who want to go to office and fight for the people. It always sounds great. At the end of the day, your constituents are also those big corporations as well. So you got to put a little balance in there. So that means you're going to have to negotiate. You're going to have to negotiate with some of these other guys. Are you willing to negotiate to give something here to get something there? I don't know. Are you willing to do that?
Oh yeah. You mean, look, I'm an attorney. Not every case goes to trial. Sometimes you end with a settlement, a handshake, and a check for $18.75 million going to your clients, So
is that one of your
the Church Street South? I worked for 4 years as the attorney for the Church Street South families in New Haven. Those are the families that lived at the public housing project across the street from New Haven that was ultimately demolished, and all of the families forced to leave in 2015 and 2016. We brought a class action lawsuit in state court against the landlords, trying to hold people responsible for the harms that we alleged occurred to the families there. And last year we reached an $18.75 million settlement that's going to bring between $5,000 and $17,000 in compensation to almost 1,000 people who used to live at Church Street South. It's also going to establish a nearly $3 million fund for people who have been harmed with respiratory diseases from their time at Church Street South. And it guarantees that if the landlords ever decide to build a new housing project across the street from the train station, that the families that used to live at Church Street South will have the first priority and right of first refusal as to living in those apartments.
Now, speaking of Alice Telbus, this is something that a lot of people were not aware of. You've been on the ground. You're not just some guy who's just popping up trying to run against someone because you want to be a state senator. You're on the ground. You've been fighting for the people. And here it is that you actually went into the pockets of corporations and then them no such. Listen,
we all went home happy.
Uh-oh, here he comes. Here he comes. He's revving it up.
Everybody was
home.
He's bringing the money home.
Yeah, family. Yeah, and you know, and for families, if anybody here is listening, and you may have lived at Church Street South, especially during the years of 2013, 2014, 2015, all the way till 2018 when it was demolished. If that is you, call 203-787-3513 to see if you're eligible for compensation. Please repeat that. Please repeat that number. That's 203-787. Sorry, I just got
What the heck?
That's 203-787-3513. And you can find out if you're eligible to receive thousands of dollars for what you went through.
Is that Martin Looney who just texted you? He just wanted you to interrupt your number.
He wanted to know because he wanted to know because, you know, yeah, he wanted to see what was, you know, what's going on with this.
Let me stop. Again, listen to the Martin Looney people as well. You know, it's open market. If you want to get on, if they want to come on here, they just like you to have could reach out to me and just say, you know, I want to talk on the here and I want to do some pushback on Alex. Of course, Alex is going to come back and push back too. You know how he goes.
Who, me?
No, actually, look, it's great having you on the program, having you on here. You're highlighting a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff that you have done and what you would like to do for the state of Connecticut. As that, you're running against Martin Looney. I gotta say this much though before I leave. Martin Looney is he's still doing the old school thing. I have seen many flies. I've seen at least 4 different stuff come to my apartment for Martin Looney. I haven't seen anything for you, man. What's going on out there? What's on the ground? Who's on the ground?
We are raising money now to send out our first mailers. You know, we're just kicking it off now. We were in the stage of trying to get the support of the convention delegates to try and get on the ballot. But now we're in the stage of reaching out to every voter and getting them the information and raising the issues. Anyone who wants to learn more about my campaign or about me, you can go on my website, which is alexforctsenate.com, ALEXFORCTSENATE.com, alexforctsenate.com. And you can check out my platform, why I'm running, and also my personal cell phone number and email are on that site, 203-909-0048 or alextt@gmail.com. And let's talk about the issues that matter to you. You know, it's not just about my crazy ideas.
Let me get that Gmail again.
My Gmail is alextt. So it's just those 4 characters, ALEXTT@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, there you have it, people. It's great having him on once again, as I said.
Oh, one more thing. Legalize weed.
Okay. So he just got all the
My guy.
smokers
And sports gambling.
Legalize it.
We love you here.
Yeah, I know, but here's the good thing about this.
About to do, I can't show on camera.
But here's something, Harry. You have with the one time that we're doing this, Harry he shows off all the shoes in the background. And the crazy thing about it is, you know, they're going to take pieces of this to put onto an ad against Alex. You know this. He's going to be running for Senate. He's going to be running for U.S. Senate someday. And your picture, your closet is going to be part of that. It's going to be part of that ad. The day that
Those are my shoes, Senator.
You couldn't walk in my shoes. That's your slogan.
Walk in no shoes down there.
Oh my goodness. Once
crazy.
again, thank you very much for showing up, Alex, and being part of this ugliness, man.
Thank you for
I gotta
having
tell-
me anytime.
Absolutely. I gotta tell you, people right now, we'll check you out tomorrow morning, bright and early. We go down at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We're already pressing the clock. We're over the time. But I thank you once again, Alex, for showing up. Gentlemen.
1994, I'm off the porch, sipping 40 ounces with my dogs. Going half on nickel bags of funk. That was back when I believed in luck. Yeah. Running off at the mouth could get you. But back then all it did was get you jumped. Pants rubbing and humping's 88. I'm getting older now. Yeah, watching older figure throwing rims up on his truck. I was fascinated how he's getting all his stuff. Heard he died on the dance floor, doing the butt. They was shooting up the party, screaming, "It's better duck." And I couldn't get enough, cause apparently I'm stuck. Just pay me what you owe me, never can I get a buck. And I'm arrogant as I tell you, look, life is a game of spades and it's played by the book, yup. I be feeling like I'm all alone. No room for nobody on the throne. Everybody coming from my head. I can feel the feeling in my bones. I be feeling like I'm all alone. No room for nobody on the throne. Everybody coming from my head. I can feel this feeling in my bones. They thought I wouldn't make it, then I made it. I thought that they would love me, but they hated. They thought that I was high and I was faded. But still ain't no denying I'm the greatest ever. I promised my daughter to never promise. I broke that promise twice, now I owe my daughter all kinds of. I don't wear a watch, I can show you what time it is. I be spinning blocks, texting I'm right outside your crib. It's not a magic trick when I'm disappearing inside you, sis. Swimming with the sharks, dodging all them piranha fish. Cause I ain't trying to lose, and that's a major accomplishment. Kids in private school, you can miss me with all that minor. Take my coffee, 2 sugars, heavy on the cream. 3 albums, 1 summer, Philly blunt a machine. I am January's baby, February queen. Marching into April, I'm something June never seen. And it seems I be feeling like I'm all alone. No room for nobody on the throne. Everybody coming from my head. I can feel the feeling in my bones. I be feeling like I'm all alone. No room for nobody on the throne. Everybody coming from my head. I can feel this feeling in my bones.
I say, jealousy, I say, got the whole industry mad at me, I say. To me, I say, hard remind yourself. Nobody built like you design yourself. I agree, I said to my one-of-a-kind self. Get paid every day like Jay-Z did. What he did and say has been done before. So I just keep doing my thing. I'll say no more. Shout out to Jay-Z.